It's a tutorial.
Hi everyone, so I'm going to change my coolant. I have never changed my coolant before, so learning experience. Start by taking off the upper fairing. If you don't know how to do that, I have another video and you can check that out. So I'm going to take this off now. So now the upper fairing is off, and you also need to take off the lower fairing. So we need to take off this little thing here, bolt here. It's the same on both sides, and here you use a 5mm hex. And you also need to take off a screw right here, which is behind the wheel of the bike. And I'm going to take that off. Now the lower fairing is off. It comes off really easily. So I also forgot to mention my bike right now is on its center stand right here. So I actually forgot, I also need to take off my left quarter panel here. And the way we do that is first we take off the seat. You have a keyhole here on the left side of your bike, and you just go ahead, put your key in, turn it, and it'll pop it right off like that. Then you have a screw at the bottom of your quarter panel right here. All you have to do is go ahead and unscrew this, and you want to be very careful with this. There are actually 3 pegs behind this panel. There's one here, and one here. So you want to kind of just be very gentle, wiggle it off. One of mine is already broken off. I know, it just comes straight off. And on this side, be very careful. There's this, so you don't want to pull this side off first. You want to pull this side off last, and kind of like pull this corner and let it go off. Take that. And here's the coolant. Let me just show you really quickly the little pins that go here. This is what I was talking about. These pegs line up. Here's mine that's broken, which is really sad. You can go ahead and glue those back. I know a lot of people do that. And on this side, there's one here. So that's what you want to be careful of. Also, the reason I forgot, I'm really scattered, I'm sorry. The reason that I'm changing my coolant, draining it, and refilling it is because I actually filled it with bottled water the other day when I was low, and I found out you are actually not supposed to do that. You want to use coolant mixed with distilled water. And so I'm going to drain it out and refill it with proper coolant. So what we are going to do here is, there is first this little bolt here. I don't know if you can see it. We're going to take this off. This is a 10mm bolt, and I will show you in a minute. It's kind of dark. It should shoot out, so I've never done this before. I've heard it goes as far as 1 to 2 feet. I'll show you in a minute. So what you need is a drip tray, which we have here. And like I said, you have your 10mm. We're going to take this bolt off, and supposedly, right now, it'll just dribble out slowly, hopefully. I'm standing right behind this, so hopefully it won't shoot out towards me, but let's see. Oh yeah, I also have a bottle ready. You'll see what that's for in a second. Oh, okay, that's not so bad. Oh yeah, also use gloves, because coolant is very bad for your skin, and if you get it on you, you should wash it off immediately. Okay, so now we're going to put this bottle here where it's dripping out. And remember the coolant? We're going to take the coolant cap off. I'm very frightened. So here we go. Take taking it off. Okay, and we're gonna take off the radiator. Okay, here we go. This is all my coolant and water. That's kind of cool looking. So I'm gonna let it drain here. Put the cap back on this bottle. Nice to have a big bottle. Okay, so I replaced the bolt that let the coolant out. And now you need to take out a second bolt. This one's also a 10mm. Here it is under the radiator. Here's your radiator. So just move down. Here are your exhaust pipes, and right in between that, underneath, is this little bolt here. So this one hopefully will not shoot out as badly. So I'm gonna try and take this off here. Finally loosened it. Just gonna unscrew it now. And now you just drain the rest of the coolant. Okay, so the last thing I need to do is empty out the overflow, which there are 2 bolts. One here, up here, and one down here. And these are also both 10mm. So just gonna undo these and then dump out the overflow into our little drip tray. Here's our drip tray. Alright, so we screwed everything back up. All the coolant release bolts are back in. The overflow is screwed back in, and now we are ready to refill it with good coolant. Here we have pre-diluted coolant. So 50% coolant, 50% whatever else. Hopefully distilled water. And we have a funnel. So this is where we are going to put the coolant back in. Right on the right side of your motorcycle, or on a Ninja 250. We're gonna do this slowly because we don't want any air bubbles to be in our radiator. So let's see. So ideally we want it somewhere around here. I think this is good right here. Yeah. So if you look at this, you can see the coolant in the top. Oops. So finally, we can fill up the overflow. I guess F stands for full and L stands for low, I guess. So we want to put it to F. So same thing as before, you want to go kind of slowly, so you don't get as many air bubbles. Huh, perfect. And all you have to do is replace the cap, put everything back together, and you're done. So you've just changed your coolant. Oh yeah, last thing. People say that what you're supposed to do after you've changed your coolant is to get out the air bubbles. And the way you do that is you take off this radiator cap and you turn on your bike and let it run for a while, and you'll start to see air bubbles come up in the coolant. Supposedly, like I said, I've never done this. And once the air bubbles stop appearing, that means all the air bubbles are out. I'm not going to do that because we poured it in slowly, so hopefully most of the air bubbles aren't there. And yeah.